Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to the Coca-Cola Super Speedway here in Concord, Massachusetts. Of course, this is a fictional super speedway, but one we all know and love, especially this time of year, as tomorrow morning, it's the 9th annual Thanksgiving 500 here on AG, the channel. Tonight, for the first time ever, we set the starting lineup for tomorrow's 50-lap event with 2 qualifying races. 21 drivers in each race here tonight, and depending on which race is fastest will determine which race starts on the inside and which one starts on the outside. It's going to be a lot of fun here tonight. 2 10-lap events here under the lights, and this racetrack races very differently in the nighttime than it does during the day, but we're going to have a lot of fun, and we will see who starts on the pole once we are done with these 2 10-lap races. The starting lineup for these qualifying events were determined by the order in which everyone signed up. We did have 3 reserves, or 3 past champions of this event who are going to be running in the Thanksgiving 500 tomorrow. Nicolas Samudio, Hierjel, Arvin, Alonso, and Zack Winkle. They were ordered by the amount of wins they have on the channel. So we start here tonight with the first qualifier, and Nicolas Samudio will lead us to the green flag here in this 10-lap event. We will get these drivers to roll off here from the Coca-Cola Super Speedway. Like we mentioned, it's Nicolas Samudio on the pole, the 2017 winner of this race, and who can forget that 2017 Thanksgiving 500 when he blew up coming to the line, still won the race. That race right there was where the Mr. Edge term was coined, and we've called him Mr. Edge ever since because he always keeps us on the edge of our seat and wins races by the slimmest of margins all the time. He currently has the closest finish of the year, ahead of Logan Williams in the IndyCar Series at Chicagoland. Still to this day, he's Mr. Edge. Alongside him, Zack Winkle, the 2019 winner of this race. Only 4 career wins for Zack Winkle. Only his 4th Thanksgiving 500, but he has won this race before, and excited to see Zack back behind the wheel. Only got, I think, his 3rd start of the season on the channel. See what he can do in that 93 machine. Justin Zajdel, Rayan Durrani make up row number 2. Great to see Ryan back behind the wheel there in the number 99. It's his 5th Thanksgiving 500. Ace Garcia to the inside of William Brock. This is Williams' 8th Thanksgiving 500, and he's tied with Hierjel, Arvin, Alonso for the most starts here in this great race. Bruno Di Giacomo to the inside of Brennan Wilmington. Of course, Di Giacomo in his 1st Thanksgiving 500. Wilmington, the runner-up 3 years ago, and finished 3rd last year. We'll see if he can get one spot closer and get the race victory tomorrow morning. LJ Semedo, great to see LJ behind the wheel. His 1st ever Thanksgiving 500. The inside of Michael Lewis, 1st career start for the driver, the number 18. We got Blaine Keyes in the 12, who recently won at Iowa in the Turkey Hill Truck Series. He's coming off of that win. Alongside the 00 there of Eric Monaco in his 4th Thanksgiving 500. You got the 44, Phillip Torres to the inside of the 77, driven by Thomas Troxell, longtime veteran there. This is Troxell's 7th Thanksgiving 500. Caleb Rose, he blew up last year, looking to make it up here in the 50 machine alongside Mason Wood, who's in his 1st ever start. Andrew Miller in the 94 machine of John Andrews, a couple of longtime veterans right there. Andrew Williams to the inside of the 28 of Nathan Ormond. And then Brett Hill, 1st career start in the number 66, rounds out the field. Here we go, green flag in the first qualifier of the night here on Thanksgiving Eve. And a good jump there out of Samudio. Nobody peeking to the inside of him yet. Ace Garcia moving 3 wide on the inside. And of course, like I mentioned, they're going to race very differently here than they do, or than they will, tomorrow night, because you're going to see this guy scrape the outside wall. Michael Lewis and Rayan Durrani. You're not going to really see that tomorrow. These guys have less grip under the lights, ironically, than they do during the daytime, which is quite interesting how this track ends up working out. Ace Garcia moving to the inside of Nicolas Samudio for the race lead. Great to see Ace back behind the wheel of a stock car. Been a while since he has driven a stock car on the channel. But Di Giacomo, who has been driving those stock trucks and with relative success as well, is going to take the race lead. And he's going to lead lap number 1. Garcia looking to peek down to the inside as Wilmington was coming right there. And my goodness, that was tight. They're 4 wide for the race lead. Phillip Torres trying to work that inside lane. Can't quite do it. And Blaine Keyes hard on the outside wall right there. He's going to fall back tremendously. You know, the funny thing I would like to mention about Blaine Keyes in the 12, this is Blaine's first Thanksgiving 500 since the first one, all the way back in 2015. Only his second ever start in this race, but an 8-year gap between the two of them, which is something else right there. Rayan Durrani really deep in the field right there in his 5th Thanksgiving 500. His first start as a driver behind the wheel. You got Giacomo and Brennan Wilmington, both in the outside wall hard. And the night version of Coca-Cola and the day version of Coca-Cola are two completely different racetracks. It's just all there is to it. Ace Garcia still out front in the 25. Andrew Williams is second. John Andrews is in second, or in third, excuse me, and then Andrew Miller is in fourth. Hey, they got me all confused. They got all these Andrews going around here, and like I can't keep them straight. How about Andrew Williams, though? Recently won at the Pocono Raceway in the Turkey Hill Truck Series about 3 weeks ago when he got that race victory ahead of Derek Hamill, and he is looking to the inside here of Ace Garcia for the race lead. You got Andrew Miller here as well in the 40. And of course, I know he'd love to have a better finish than 25th. He finished there in 2021, his best finish of this race. Nathan Ormond to the inside, though, as well, and Ormond's best finish is 33rd 5 years ago, so I know he'd love to improve on that. How about Brett Hill, first ever start for the 66 here. He's in the middle of all this madness. John Andrews in the middle lane there as well. You got Phillip Torres, and look at Caleb. Caleb Rose peeking all the way down to the inside right there, trying to get a nose to the inside of Phillip Torres. Of course, he blew up in the Thanksgiving 500 last year. I'm sure he would love to make better at that this year in that number 50 machine. And here's Zack Winkle, started outside pole. Of course, won the Thanksgiving 500 4 years ago. He'd love to do it again, love to become the first ever 2-time winner of this race. Of course, he, along with Semedo and Alonso, have the opportunity to do that. Andrew Miller, he's in the outside wall. And, man, we're just seeing a ton of this here tonight. But that's what we see. We see a lot of these Darlington stripes here at the Coca-Cola Super Speedway. Troxell, a little bit off the pace right there in the 77. I think he's had a moment of old time with that. Same with Blaine Keyes, Justin Zajdel as well. 17, Bruno Di Giacomo. We saw him scrape the outside wall, and then you got Brennan Wilmington there in the 90 with Rayan Durrani currently in last place. So, going to be interesting to see if that slows these guys down enough to where this race ends up being the slower race, and all these guys have to start on the outside lane. Caleb Rose looking to the inside of Nathan Ormond, but Ormond holding strong on that outside. Now, one thing about the night version of Coca-Cola, it's a lot easier to stay up front once you get later on into a run, and Nathan Ormond might be in a good position to hold these guys off and possibly steal this qualifier win. However, he's a little wide off the corner. Phillip Torres in the outside wall. Mason Wood slicing through these guys with Zack Winkle behind him. John Andrews in the middle of all this. You know, John Andrews had a great run last year. Finished 6th. It's going to be Andrews' 5th Thanksgiving 500 tomorrow morning. And I'm sure he'd love to get the race victory because he led at the white flag, I do believe, in last year's Thanksgiving 500, but could not hold him off. Caleb Rose to the inside of Nathan Ormond. They're side by side here. We're halfway through this first qualifier at the Coca-Cola Super Speedway. And now that these guys have kind of cycled out, got a lot of these guys who have fallen back because of all the damage they accumulated from hitting the outside wall. I was just about to say it's harder for these guys to make the pass, but John Andrews just made it look very easy right there. And Ormond might hit the outside wall. He's going to tap it just a little bit right there. How about LJ Semedo here in the 9? Great to see LJ in this race. Has never won a race on the channel before. It would be something else if he could pull it off tomorrow, get his first career win. Of course, if he pulls it off tonight, it would count as a AG the channel win. What do we call them anymore? We still call them Napa fan wins? You know, we're still doing that? No, you all tell me. But regardless of the fact, LJ Semedo looking for his first career win, and if he were to win this race here, it would count as an official win, and that would be something else. And LJ's been racing for a few years now and is still yet to go to victory lane. And right behind him, you got the driver who's 3rd on the all-time wins list, looking to move up and tie Jesse Turner for 2nd and maybe surpass him if he can sweep this and the race tomorrow. And he's got a chance of winning this qualifier. Moving to the inside. Nicolas Samudio keeping the car clean right here. 3 laps to go for John Andrews in the 94. A little bit of a chip on his shoulder from what happened last year in this Thanksgiving 500. He'd love to start on the pole position tomorrow. My goodness, Ace Garcia, very edgy right there. Almost getting in the Caleb Rose. They gotta be careful right there, slicing and dicing through the field. LJ, Semedo, and Nicolas Samudio right there. You got the 10 of Andrew Williams still in this pack. Michael Lewis, Phillip Torres still in contention as well. Nathan Ormond. How about William Brock? I mentioned he, along with Hierjel, Arvin, Alonso, the two drivers who have been in more Thanksgiving 500s than anybody. 8 apiece once the green flag drops tomorrow. William Brock hasn't even made a start behind the wheel all year. But great to have him back here, and this is definitely a race that's special to him if he keeps on signing up like that. But his best finish is only 6th, and that happened 5 years ago. I'm sure he'd love to finally go to victory lane here in this Thanksgiving 500 after being in it for so many years. Eric Monaco now out front in the 00. Ace Garcia looking to peek down. Mason Wood a little wide right there. He's got to be careful. Watch out for LJ Semedo here in this 9. Oh boy, that was tight right there between Mason Wood and Nicolas Samudio. These guys do not want to risk throwing a caution out because it would more than likely guarantee that this would be the slower heat race, and if that's the case, they're going to start on the outside lane. You saw what happened to some of these guys who started on the outside lane initially. They've rebounded, but not a good place to start here at Coca-Cola initially because there's hardly any grip on that outside lane, even during the daytime. LJ Semedo in the 9 as we come to the white flag. Is going to take the white flag here in this first qualifier. Caleb Rose is here. Zack Winkle is here as well. Phillip Torres, they're all bunching up here on this final lap. There goes Winkle to the inside. That's good news for Semedo in the 9. Andrews in the outside wall right there. He's going to slip back. Here comes Zack Winkle in 93, but Semedo's going to have a run in the outside lane right here, or is he? Phillip Torres coming in that 44 as well. The 9 getting some help there from Ace Garcia. If Semedo can clear Winkle into the corner, he's not going to be able to do it. How about Caleb Rose, who's up here as well? Mason Wood on the inside lane. Everybody's all over the place, and Caleb Rose going to move to the inside of the 93, and Caleb might gift this one here. But Winkle's going to have a run on the outside. They're going to be side by side across the line. Here we go. This is going to be tight. At the stripe, it's going to go to Caleb Rose, who wins the first qualifier of the Thanksgiving 500. Winkle's going to finish second. Then it's Ace Garcia, Mason Wood, and Nathan Ormond. But Caleb Rose, 2:16.410. Keep that in mind for when we do the second qualifier. He wins the first qualifier and is guaranteed a front row spot in the 2023 Thanksgiving 500. You just never know. You can't keep track of it. These guys are just all over the place all the time here, this Coca-Cola Super Speedway. And we saw that coming to fruition right there. So Caleb Rose is guaranteed a front row spot. Zack Winkle is guaranteed a second row spot, and they're going to start in those respective rows. Just we don't know if it's going to be on the inside lane or the outside lane. 2:16.410 is what these guys in the second qualifier have to beat. The good thing is, though, everyone will still be in the race, and we won't see those guys smashing the outside wall like they were here tonight in tomorrow's event. Of course, the day and night version of Coca-Cola is so different from each other. So just keep that in mind. You know, it'll be a little calmer tomorrow. But not all the way. These guys are still going to be ripping it around here. It's going to be a lot of fun. Caleb Rose, Zack Winkle, Ace Garcia, Mason Wood, first career start, finishing 4th. Nathan Ormond in the top 5. And LJ Semedo led at the white flag, finished 6th. That seems to be a common theme. That's what happened to John Andrews in the main event last year. Nicolas Samudio, Andrew Williams, John Andrews, Eric Monaco, the top 10. And then Phillip Torres, William Brock, Michael Lewis, Thomas Troxell, Blaine Keyes, Justin Zajdel, Bruno Di Giacomo, Brett Hill, Andrew Miller, Brennan Wilmington, and Rayan Durrani. Of course, where you start in the Thanksgiving 500 usually doesn't mean too much, but it's still good to start up front regardless of the fact in a 50-lap event. All right, let's move on to qualifier number 2. Let's see if they can beat that time that Caleb Rose had, and we'll see who gets the race victory in the second qualifier. Let's jump into it right now. All right. We're here for the second one, the second qualifier race of the night. Of course, that first qualifier race, the speed was 2:16.410. So if these guys here are faster in this race than that, they will start on the inside lane. Otherwise, they will be on the outside lane to start. So Caleb Rose guaranteed a front row starting position. We'll see who joins him on that front row here, as we've got the 21 other drivers ready to do it for 10 laps again, and we'll see if they learn anything from that first qualifier race. These guys were overshooting that wall, hitting that outside wall all the time, but we had a great finish, and I think we'll have another great one here today. It's Hierjel, Arvin, Alonso on the pole. The first ever winner officially of Thanksgiving 500. We had this race in 2014, and I deleted everything prior to 2015 on the channel, and one of my biggest regrets in life, because I don't remember who won that race. So officially, Hierjel, Arvin, Alonso is the first ever winner of the Thanksgiving 500. Of course, we call this the 9th annual, but this is technically the 10th running of this race, because we did run this race in 2014, but I deleted it. And I hate myself for it, you know, in Minecraft, of course. All right, let's go ahead and get these guys to roll off here for the second qualifier of the night. And like I mentioned, Hierjel, Arvin, Alonso on the front row alongside him. Another one of our fellow international friends, Stuart Gratton on that outside lane. Of course, both of these guys have been running the whole time. Gratton has never won this race before, but he is starting in his 7th Thanksgiving 500. Finished 3rd 2 years ago. We'll see what he can do here tonight. 22 machine there. That's Skyler Taylor. First career start for her, and we'll have to see what she can do. She's had a lot of great runs, especially in the Sprint Series this year. She's alongside the number 97 of Nathan Stapleton. Nathan's 5th Thanksgiving 500. And best finish the 7th for him. Been a while since he's run this race himself. Great to have him back behind the wheel in the John Deere machine. 24, that's Igor Barreto. 2nd Thanksgiving 500 for Igor. He's to the inside there of the 43 machine, driven by Shane Lake. This is Shane's 5th Thanksgiving 500. He's been running this thing quite a bit. Best finish of 15th, though, last year. Daisy Johnson, development driver to Matt Tuck there, starting 7th. I believe only her 2nd career start on the channel. Her first was in this race last year. And this is the car that won the race last year, the 01. This year is driven by Reggie Fogleman in his first ever Thanksgiving 500 start. We got the 5. That car driven by Aaron Abel for a 2nd straight year. Finished 21st here last year. Alongside the 4, Loudovick Charette, current points leader in the Turkey Hill Truck Series. I'm sure he'd love to get a win here in this Thanksgiving 500. A big opportunity for him there in the 4 machine. Travis Crampton, his 2nd Thanksgiving 500, finished 31st last year. To the inside of the 88 machine, driven by Bryon Webb, who got his first career win about a month ago at the Rockingham Speedway. 31 machine, that is Chris Reynolds in his 4th Thanksgiving 500 to the inside of the 26. Kyler Sustry, who is the owner of Loudovick Charette here in the Turkey Hill Truck Series. First attempt as a driver here on the channel. The 11 machine, that is Owen Miles to the inside of the 7 of Brian Hedman in his first ever start. Carlos Rex, first ever start for the 14 to the inside of the 32, driven by Angel Gutierrez. Then you got the 02, the 75, and the 60 machine. That's Avery Alford, Braden Perez, and then Rogeldorn rounding it out here in the 2nd qualifier. We'll get to talk about some of those other guys as we go on throughout this 10-lap event. Alonso with a good jump at the start. Skyler Taylor looking to the inside, and Taylor going to take that race lead away. And already Shane Lake in the outside wall. Tough break there for the veteran driver. Past Cup champion there. Been in this race quite a bit. And he's going to be our first casualty to that outside wall here in tonight's event. Daisy Johnson on the inside. They're still side by side between Taylor and Alonso. Igor Barreto right up here as well. Stuart Gratton in the middle of all this. You got Crampton there. Got a lot of great drivers in this year's race, and a lot of the guys who were newer this year in this year's race. I will say one notable omission in this Thanksgiving 500 is our Wawa Cup Series champion of Drew Webb. Absolutely hate the fact that he's not in this year's Thanksgiving 500. What a run he had in the Cup Series over the summer. Hey, maybe next year we'll get him. But hey, maybe these guys are happy he's not in here. Going to dominate the race. Daisy Johnson to the lead. Igor Barreto took the first lap right there, and he's in the outside wall with Taylor and Gratton. Alonso also slipping back. I'm telling you, these guys make me nervous sometimes. Carlos Rex, first career start for the 14 here. Looking to the inside there of the 22 and the 24. And he is going to be able to make that move and hold that inside lane. You got the 02 of Avery Alford, the 11 machine of Owen Miles up here as well. And we've had so many passes all throughout this racetrack for all these respective positions here in this race here tonight already. We're only 2 laps in to this race as well. 88 machine there on the inside lane. That is Bryon Webb. Recently got the race victory at the Rockingham Speedway in the Turkey Hill Truck Series. Gratton, that's it for him. He's in the outside wall hard, and he's going to fall back. There was a driver I wanted to mention. It was starting deep in the field right there that I didn't get much of an opportunity to talk about when we were going through the pre-race right there. And I forget who it was. Gutierrez, yes, our Indianapolis 250 winner. So, on the channel, we got 3 Crown Jewel events. The Daytona 500 in the Wawa Cup Series, the Indianapolis 250 in the Haas IndyCar Series, and then this race right here. Gutierrez won the Indy 250 earlier this year. He is looking to go back-to-back on the Crown Jewels, and that happened with the Thanksgiving 500 and the Daytona 500 this past year as well. So, Gutierrez looking to get his second Crown Jewel event. Only one driver has won all 3. Of course, that's Nicolas Samudio. But Gutierrez looking to get only his second career win. He's got a good opportunity at doing so, I feel like, in that 32 machine. 75, Braden Perez. Mr. Stelia win. We'll see if he does that tomorrow in the 75 machine. He did it to Drew Webb a few times in the Cup Series. Of course, that Michigan race, we'll never forget that one where he was running second right behind Drew Webb pretty much that entire race. Drew Webb blew a tire in the last lap, and Braden took it away. It's kind of fell off into the last few races of the season and didn't really have a shot at the championship. But Braden, an excellent driver, and he's looking to possibly get this Thanksgiving 500 race victory. His second start in this race, finished 31st in 2020. 02, Avery Alford to the race lead. You got the 60 machine here, Rogel Dorn. This is Rogel's first official start in this race, but Frank Shilton was in this thing last year, so technically the second start. But for Rogel himself, only his first start in the Thanksgiving 500. Oh, and that right there was tight. Loudovick Charette and Braden Perez got into it off the exit of the corner. They keep it together, and we avoid a caution. But they're going to probably have to either come down. I think Ludovic's got significant damage from that. That is not an easy hit at all at the speeds we run here. That's a tough break there for Loudovic in the 4 machine. But like I mentioned, where you start in this race isn't the most significant thing in the world. It's just more fun to do qualifying with some racing rather than doing the group session. I think we can all agree on that. Avery Alford still leading here in the 02. Right now, the average is just a touch slower, but they can definitely bring that up in this second half of this qualifier event. Number 60, Rogel Dorn to the inside. I was just about to mention, Rogel Dorn had a great run at Iowa in the Truck Series last Friday. Almost got that race victory, finished second. He's had a couple of great runs over there in the Truck Series and going to be joining Hamill Racing Enterprises in the 2024 season of the Wawa Cup Series. Watch out for Rogel next year. He's going to be a strong driver to beat, I feel like. Here's the car that won last year, the 01 machine. Reggie Fogleman driving it this year, and Reggie's going to have a good shot here if he can hold on to this race lead in this qualifier race. I feel like that's a lucky car right there, that 01 machine. You got the 11 as well. Owen Miles has been up front in a lot of these races. This is Owen's 5th Thanksgiving 500. Best finish of 5th last year and also in 2019. So he's finished 5th twice, and this is his 5th Thanksgiving 500. Maybe that's a good omen for him. 26 here, Kyler Sustry. Probably, of all the drivers making their first career starts, the guy who's been around the longest, of course, owner of the Beacon Quantum Racing team in the Turkey Hill Truck Series, which currently leads in the Owners' Championship with Loudovick Charette and Trey Bartow. So we'll have to see what Kyler can do as a driver. And right now, he's doing a pretty darn good job in that 26 machine. Oh, they're getting a little edgy right here. Stapleton on the inside lane. You got the 32 machine there of Angel Gutierrez, and then the 88 in the middle of Bryon Webb. Now, let me tell you, Nathan, I'd love to see this guy go to victory lane tomorrow. I know it won't change much of what he's going through, but I tell you, I know he'd love it. Nathan, definitely a great driver, no doubt about it. 11 career wins, best finish of 7th in this race back 5 years ago in 2018. These guys are not hitting that outside wall near as much as they were in the first qualifier, and I think that might play to their advantage because you see the average time they got right now of a 2:16.561. That is faster than what Caleb Rose set in the first qualifier, so it's looking pretty good for these guys. Whoever ends up getting this win will get the pole position. That doesn't necessarily mean that'll happen. If we get a caution, that's going to end it for these guys, and then it will be Caleb Rose starting on the pole tomorrow. 60 machine of Rogel Dorn still up front. looking to the inside of Owen Miles, who leads that lap right there. And Rogel's going to take it away. You got Bryon Webb here, Kyler Sustry, Gutierrez, Skyler Taylor. Of course, for Taylor and Gutierrez, they ran a lot in the Sprint Series this year. Currently running a lot in the Pro Series. So Caleb is running right now. How about the 7? Brian Hedman. I've yet to mention him in this race. First career start for Brian Hedman in that 7 machine. He's on the inside lane. 31 is up here as well. That's Chris Reynolds. Alonso kind of rebounding as well on the 20. Started on the pole. He's in the top 10. But the thing is, we're on the last lap now. We're taking the white flag right here. And they're side by side between Kyler Sustry and Bryon Webb in the 88. Webb's going to take it with 1 lap to go here at Coca-Cola. Oh, they got to be careful here. That 32 machine. They're all jamming up behind this 26. And Gutierrez looking for his 2nd career win on the channel. Like I mentioned, these 2 races do count as official wins. Now, I know Gutierrez would love to get his first ever win behind a stock car, and he might have a good shot because Hedman's not going to have any help there, but neither does Gutierrez. And Bryon Webb on the outside with a huge push from Rogel Dorn's going to clear the field in the 3. Doesn't necessarily mean he's going to get it, though. Kyler Sustry, Angel Gutierrez going to try to make a charge for it here at the end, but that right there might actually do it. Bryon Webb clears the field. And Bryon Webb's going to get his 2nd career win on the channel. And Bryon Webb, I do believe, is going to win the pole for the 2023 Thanksgiving 500. He does. 2:17.024. All of these guys going to be starting on the inside lane tomorrow to start the 9th annual Thanksgiving 500. So Bryon Webb and Caleb Rose will make up the front row. Great run there for Bryon Webb in the 88. He kept that thing up front, and that's definitely something to watch out for in tomorrow's race. Will Bryon be able to do the same thing in that 88 machine? Great run there. Great run there for Bryon Webb. It's another great race. Not as close as the first one, but a lot of action, and they kept it a lot cleaner here in this one as well, which I think played to their advantage. So Kyler Sustry is going to be starting 3rd. Angel Gutierrez, Skyler Taylor, Chris Reynolds, Reggie Fogleman, Hierjel, Arvin, Alonso, Owen Miles, Carlos Rex, Rogel Dorn, Brian Hedman, Daisy Johnson, Nathan Stapleton, Avery Alford, Braden Perez, Igor Barreto, Aaron Abel, Travis Crampton, Loudovick Charette, Stuart Gratton, and Shane Lake. The official results, and that is how the inside lane will look. So this is, in fact, how they will start. You got Bryon Webb and Caleb Rose in row 1, Kyler Sustry and Zack Winkle in row 2, Angel Gutierrez and Ace Garcia in row 3, Skyler Taylor and Mason Wood in row 4, Chris Reynolds, Nathan Ormond in row 5, Reggie Fogleman, LJ Semedo in row 6, Hierjel, Arvin, Alonso, and Nicolas Samudio in row 7. How about that right there? For the 2 winningest drivers, I do believe, in this year's event. Owen Miles, Andrew Williams in row 8. Carlos Rex and John Andrews in row 9. Rogel Dorn, Eric Monaco in row 10. Bryon Hedman and Phillip Torres in row 11. Daisy Johnson and William Brock in row 12. Nathan Stapleton and Michael Lewis in row 13. Avery Alford and Thomas Troxell in row 14. We got Braden Perez, Blaine Keyes in row 15. Igor Barreto and Justin Zajdel in row 16, Aaron Abel, Bruno Di Giacomo in row 17, Travis Crampton, Brett Hill in row 18, Loudovick Charette and Andrew Miller in row 19, Stuart Gratton, Brennan Wilmington in row 20, and then Shane Lake to the inside of Rayan Durrani in row 21. That is the full field for the Thanksgiving 500. Congratulations to Bryon Webb for winning the pole for the 2023 Thanksgiving 500, which you guys will see tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, right here on AG, the channel. Caleb Rose and Andrew Miller specifically will be in the booth with us for that race. Even though they're driving, we let them have a pass because we love those guys. Obviously, Caleb running all the stuff on the channel and Andrew being one of my closest friends. I like keeping it close. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Hey, thank you guys so much for watching here on Thanksgiving Eve. Have a great holiday. If you guys are traveling, be safe out there and have a happy Thanksgiving. And for those of you who aren't Americans, have a great day. We love that you're here. This is a race for everyone, and we have a lot of international flair in this race each and every year, and it's awesome to have it. And like I said, this race, this event, is a celebration of NR and this whole community that we've built over the years, and we're excited to see who gets it done at tomorrow's Thanksgiving 500. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. Congratulations to Bryon Webb and Caleb Rose. They're going to be on the front row for tomorrow's Thanksgiving 500, and we'll see you guys 10 a.m. Eastern Time, right here from the Coca-Cola Super Speedway. Thank you guys for watching once again, and I will see you guys later!